Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, it's Rob Cushing here from thebetterclaim.com music blog. I want to talk to you about some kind of cool technical music stuff with some gear today. Before we do that, I wanted to let you guys know a few things. Stick around, I got a little bonus for you at the end. Okay, so watch this whole video. This is actually kind of be a 2 or 3 part series. I wrote a set of blog posts on this previously, so I have the link to the original blog post below. But just as importantly, okay, if you guys, I hope you find this video of value. If you find it of value, I want you to let me know. If you have any questions about what it is, what I do, and what I present in the video, okay, you're welcome to just reach out to me, my contact information below, okay? I have an open door policy. I'd love to hear from you, okay? So what I want to talk to you today is if you're a musician and you have a music studio, okay, we're going to talk about how to get the most out of your studio speaker setups, okay? So this first part, I want to focus on speaker placement, all right? So I've had this question come up numerous times, like whether you've been utilizing like a pair of studio monitors for quite some time, or you just purchased a new speaker setup for your home recording studio. Excuse me a sec. I'm doing a lot of videos today. Anyway, so whether you've done any of those scenarios, right, the thing you always want to do is you want to be sure that you're maximizing the full potential of your speaker setup, right? So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to make your speakers sound the best as they can be, okay? So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about your speaker placement, okay? So here's the first thing you want to do, all right? You want to place your speakers first and then everything else around them. So what I mean by that is that more often than not, speakers are actually one of the last things that you usually set up in the studio, and as a result, you're not really getting 100% out of your speaker placement. So what you want to do is this, okay? Before anything else in your studio, when possible, set up your speakers first, okay, and then place everything else in your studio around them, okay? Chances are this is going to make a big difference in your sound output, even if it's a pain to have to rearrange everything for the speakers. Just remember those speakers need to come first, okay? So that's the first thing, all right? So the second thing is what I call the middle is where you want to be, okay? So what I mean by that is get your speakers away from the corners of your studio, center them in as close to the middle of one of your walls as possible, okay? Usually speakers, and even the desk they're on, are situated, most people usually situate them in a corner of a room because you're trying to save space, okay? I get that. But if you really want optimum sound output, you need to move that desk and you got to move those speakers to the middle of one of your walls, okay? Particularly if you have like a long room, okay? So in that case, you want to pick one of the shorter walls, center yourself in, and situate yourself there, right? So here's what happens. If you don't end up doing this and you keep your speakers placed in the corner of your room, what's going to happen is you're going to have this uneven sound mix bouncing off of each of the walls at different times, okay? And what that does, it ends up with your audio sounding off and out of sync because, you know, sounds bouncing back to you at different times, even though it's like, if it's a small room, it's still enough that it makes it sound weird to your ears, right? So getting your speaker set up into a flat, small area of the room, it's going to get rid of that unbalanced mix, and you're going to notice a huge difference, all right? So that's number two, all right? Number three is about the bass, okay? And I've learned from a lot of sound engineers over the years. I'm not a pro, but I'm continually learning. Um, what I've learned from a lot of sound engineers over the years is this, that the bass that you hear in the room tends to like sit in a corner, and it tricks your ears into thinking that your mix is actually louder than it really is, okay? And then what ends up happening is that since you hear all that bass in your room, you automatically end up thinking that you got to start reducing the bass in your mix, okay? So that's yet another reason that you want to move your speaker setup out of the corners of the room, and you want to move it into the middle of the wall as much as possible. So if you have a subwoofer, make sure it's not sitting up against any furniture. Don't have it sit up against the wall. You want to give it a little bit of enough breathing space around the room, okay, so that you can correctly move the air around it. And that will give you a much cleaner bass response, okay? That alone is going to save you a ton of time when it comes to adjusting your mix. And I've had this happen before where I've unnecessarily turned down the bass in my Pro Tools, and then I took a rough mix and I went out to the car to listen to it after I bounced a rough mix to CD, only to find out I took way more bass down than I intended to, and then I had to go back in the studio again to readjust, and then I listened again, and I had the whole situation repeat, and that just sucked. Okay, so. Um, that was something that alone is going to give you guys so much value because it did for me. Okay, so in summary, here's what you need to do. Okay, for this first part of speaker placement, take action on this today. Okay, um, rearrange your studio so the placement of your speakers comes first, and then you have everything else set up around those speakers. Okay. 2, you want to have your setup centered into the middle of the smaller walls in your studio, okay? And 3, you want to give your speakers and subwoofer some breathing room, okay? Keep them out of the corners, all right? And I guarantee you guys are going to hear a huge difference in your audio output, okay? So as always, each studio setup is different, so you're going to want to play around with what works for you, okay? And I'm going to have some more videos on this soon on how you can better tweak your sound output, okay? So that's it, and so 2 quick things I want to let you know too. Speaking of taking action, um, why haven't you hooked up with me on my business yet? Because this is something that has actually freed me up from doing the corporate thing and is allowing me to start pursuing musical freedom, okay? Um, so if you get on my website here, it's www.plugplayandlive.com. The link's below. Okay. You can also alternately go to, for you musicians, you can go to www.stepuponstage.com as well. That's an alternate. They really just go to the same thing. It's a great way to go and find out more about the business I do. Basically, I'll take a short video presentation by my buddy Chris Jones, actually walks you through what it is, how it works, and how it can work for you. Okay, that's the same business that's helped almost 250,000 people carve their own path, and that includes like thousands of musicians. Okay, so we'd be free to do the things we want, which is spend time with our family or tour, or go record an album, whatever. Okay, so that's that, and then actually. As a quick bonus, I promise you this at the end too, if you musicians want a cool way to get cash back on music gear that you're buying online already from places like Guitar Center, Musician's Friend, or even like getting an iMac from Apple or Mac Mall or something like that, there's a way to get cash back on that, okay? And I can hook you up with that. I just need you to message me on that and we'll talk more, okay? So I have all my information down below. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions, want to talk more about that. Even if you just want to provide value, give feedback on the video. So that's that. And also click on that link below to go to www.plugplayandlive.com. And that's going to take you there. You can find out more about the business I'm doing and how I succeeded in it, as so many thousands of others have. So once again, my name is Rob Cushing from thebetterclaim.com music blog. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found value in it. Love to hear from you. Take care and we'll talk soon.